So are you thinking about moving to Sarasota, but you're confused on all the different parts of town? You're wondering where you might fit in best or which area is right for you? Well, grab a pen and paper because today I'm taking a look at every part of Sarasota and letting you know who I think may or may not be right for each part of town. So let's check out downtown first. So Sarasota's downtown area borders the bay. So one of its best features is the waterfront lifestyle provided down here, while also being right on the pulse of everything happening in Sarasota. Tons of events go on downtown, including the Sarasota Farmers Market, which occurs every Saturday, Sarasota Seafood and Music Festival, Downtown Sarasota Festival of the Arts, Rocktoberfest, live music, and tons more. As for real estate in Sarasota, it's pretty much multifamily, meaning condos, townhouses, and apartments. So who do I recommend look into the downtown area? Well, people who want to be close to it all. People who might not mind the noise of the events that happen all the time. People who enjoy being able to walk to the top tier shopping and dining, as well as the great nightlife. Snowbirds and retirees looking to enjoy the waterfront lifestyle and quick convenient access to the Sarasota Bay. Maybe people from larger cities where sitting in traffic during rush hour might not bother them. So who might not enjoy living downtown? Well, if you're somebody who hasn't lived in multifamily since you were maybe in college, this area might not be for you. You have to remember that you're moving to Sarasota for the outdoor lifestyle, but so is everybody else. So people are gonna be outside on their porches, balconies, and patios. So imagine this, you wake up and it's 65 degrees outside, which is what happened to me today. It's been nasty and 80 degrees all week, so you wanna open up your windows and doors. But your next door neighbor is also enjoying the weather and also chain smoking cigarettes. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't enjoy the smell of cigarettes at 7 in the morning, this might force you to close your windows. Next thing you know, you're sitting in your bedroom thinking to yourself, I moved to Florida to enjoy the beautiful weather, and now I'm sitting in my room with the doors closed. So if you don't like music, events, traffic, then this area might not be for you. Likewise, if you're looking for maybe a home with some land, maybe you're looking to raise your family, I again would not recommend downtown. Well, I think that covers downtown pretty well. Let's head east to our next area, and I'm sure you've heard lots about it. All right, so by now, I'm pretty sure you've heard of Lakewood Ranch at least. Sun is a little too crazy here, so we're gonna have to find somewhere else. Okay, so by now, I'm sure you've at least heard of Lakewood Ranch, the #1 master plan community in all of the United States. Tons of different housing options, activities, and amenities out the wazoo. In a nutshell, the idea of Lakewood Ranch is it's trying to be its own little town, and it's actually doing it pretty well. It has its own little downtown with Main Street, its own Lakewood Ranch events, shopping, dining, and great outdoor lifestyle. But it lacks one thing. And this one thing is why so many people move to Sarasota in the first place. And that reason is the proximity to the beach. From Lakewood Ranch, it's a little over 18 miles to Siesta Key. But Lakewood Ranch developers noticed that they couldn't market for being close to the #1 beach in the United States. So if you go and explore this area, you will quickly see it's one of the most amenity-rich areas of Sarasota. That partly has to do with all the new construction around here, but also because it lacks that true beach lifestyle, unlike most of the other areas that I'm gonna cover today. So who do I recommend check out Lakewood Ranch? If you value that community feel, or you're someone looking for a great opportunity to be active and social, maybe you're raising a family and looking for amenity-rich areas close to home. Most neighborhoods have dog parks, playgrounds, water features, resort-style pools, and even more. If you're somebody who wants to move to Sarasota for the weather and occasionally visit the beach, then Lakewood Ranch would be a great fit. I wouldn't recommend Lakewood Ranch for somebody who's really looking to enjoy that beach lifestyle and could envision themselves there more than once or twice a week. I just don't feel it's realistic being more than 30 to 45 minutes away from the beach. Also, because a lot of Lakewood Ranch is newer and larger homes, the real estate is going to be pricier here, so if you're on a pretty restricting budget, this might be limiting for you. Also, if you don't see the value in or feel like you would be using any of the amenities or activities here, then it really wouldn't make sense to be paying the HOA and CDD fees. All right, so first off, please pardon the parakeets. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear them or not, but there's like a million of them in the trees around me. Okay, so just south of Lakewood Ranch and pretty much the exact opposite is the next and largest part of Sarasota that we will be checking out. And this is east of 75. Here, things spread out a little bit more, and it's mainly residential living, predominantly single-family neighborhoods. A few options for new construction are out there, including Artistry and also Lakewood Ranch, but really that's kind of it. Generally, to get to shopping and dining, you're gonna have to drive a little bit west. There's a lot less neighborhoods out here and more kind of singular one-off streets. People who will really enjoy east of 75, those who definitely value privacy and elbow room. That's the name of the game out here. In a nutshell, there are bigger houses on bigger lots. I remember two of my best friends were twin brothers who lived out here, and their parents had probably about 5 acres of land. And the house really wasn't anything spectacular, but we were never inside anyways. It was the spot to be. I mean, they had a baseball field in their backyard. They had a huge pool. We used to go four-wheeling and dirt biking and make tracks throughout their yard all the time. I'm sure we drove their parents crazy. But for me personally, I love it out here. And really, this is where Sarasota is heading. Sarasota west of 75 is reaching its peak in terms of being built out. And I predict a lot more communities, shopping, recreation, and people coming out east, which if you're somebody who already lives out here, that's really not something you want to hear. So who do I recommend check out this area? Well, like I said, those who value privacy, not being directly on top of their neighbors. Remember the story about cigarette smoking? Yeah, you're not going to have any of that here. And finally, people looking for acreage or farmland. Now, who would I not recommend for this area? Well, people looking for an amenities-rich area with strong community feel. Don't get me wrong, people are still extremely neighborly here, but it's more of that country vibe, and people are so spread out, they don't really get to communicate as much. Also, those who want to be closer to shopping and dining, or even say downtown, more than a 15-minute drive, I really wouldn't recommend east of 75. All right. Okay, now making our way to the middle of town, we're checking out the next area that I conveniently call the Big Middle. This area takes up the bulk of Sarasota and its older and more original houses, which makes sense when you think about it. Developers build up all the prime real estate closest to the water and then slowly move their way east. And it's made up of a bunch of different neighborhoods, mostly with no HOAs, which can be good or bad depending on who you are. You're gonna see a lot of mature, which I guess is just a nice way of saying old, areas here. Large trees in the yard everywhere. Homes are smaller here than the newer areas of Lakewood Ranch and a lot smaller than those east of 75. But the value comes in the location. I mean, just driving around here, it's definitely not as well groomed as Lakewood Ranch. But this area is dead smack in the middle of town. You're equidistant from Lakewood Ranch as you are to downtown and Siesta Key. But because these homes are smaller and older, this is one of the more affordable areas of Sarasota. What's nice about being in the Big Middle is there's such a variety of housing here that this area really doesn't push anyone away. But if I had to say who would be a best fit for this area, I think it would be first-time homebuyers, younger families, because of the affordability in limited HOA neighborhoods, but also investors maybe looking to buy a distressed property as well, and those on a tighter, maybe more restrictive budget. Who would I not see living here? Well, if you don't like seeing cars parked in the yards, on the grass, unmaintained houses, and lots of traffic, then this area is really not for you. So Palmer Ranch is like the original Lakewood Ranch, if you will, but it's located just south of Clark Road and in a prime spot just below the Big Middle. Driving around Palmer Ranch, you can immediately tell how well maintained just the general common grounds are. There's tons of shopping, dining, grocery stores, and activities all within the borders of Palmer Ranch. You have the beach right down the street, plus you're located centrally in Sarasota. You have a mix between pre-existing older homes and newer construction neighborhoods. Also, all of the neighborhoods in Palmer Ranch offer some type of amenities except for Wellington Chase. But really that just means you're covered on all bases, whether you want low HOA fees and low amenities or higher HOA fees with more things to do. But if you don't want to drive to the beach, you can still be covered with all of those amenities that those newer communities have. Palmer Ranch also holds Potter Park, which is this right behind me, a public park with playgrounds, tennis, basketball, pickleball courts, and the Legacy Trail also runs through Palmer Ranch with multiple entrances throughout. So who would I recommend checking out Palmer Ranch? Well, people searching for an active lifestyle, those looking to meet more people or be more involved with their community. Because so many of the neighborhoods have community features, it's very easy to meet and befriend people playing tennis, pickleball court, working out in the community gym, or just chilling by the pool and spa. Again, this area is super family friendly and in a top A-rated school district. So of course families looking for a home, but even retirees and snowbirds, Palmer Ranch is a great fit for them too, because you don't have to drive so far to get to where you want to go. The beach is only about 6 miles away, and it's a straight shot down Clark Road. But if you have a restrictive budget, there's also condos and townhouses and apartments here. So there's really something for everyone in everyone's price range. If you're somebody looking for more elbow room and privacy, Turtle Rock is a great option. Almost every home in that neighborhood backs up to a lake or preserve, so you have no one in your backyard at all. So the only people who would struggle to find what they're looking for in Palmer Ranch is someone looking for really new construction. All of the new construction neighborhoods in Palmer Ranch, besides Talon Preserve, are nearing completion in the next few months here. All right, let's head to one of the most fun areas of Sarasota, Gulfgate. Gulfgate is such a fun and interesting area of Sarasota. Most homes were built in the 70s and 80s, so they have some real actual character that isn't just a box on a box. Gulfgate proper is where a majority of the homes preside, and they tend to be smaller homes, but the value that Gulfgate provides is its proximity to the beach, being only about 1.5 miles from Siesta Key. So if that's not enough, Gulfgate also has its own downtown shopping area, which is where I'm at right now, with a mesh of different cultural dining options, as well as some fun little shops. Gulfgate is pretty similar to the middle of Sarasota when it comes to housing sizes. So again, the prices are going to be a little bit less than other areas where bigger houses are more common. But it is a little bit more expensive than central Sarasota because you are less than 2 miles away from the beach. So what type of person would like Gulfgate? Well, for me, people who love the beach but don't want or can't afford to live directly on the key. Retirees and snowbirds are also super common in Gulfgate as well for the same reasons. Investors love Gulfgate because again, there's that ability to find distressed property. So who wouldn't do so well in Gulfgate? Well, if you're looking for a newer home, you're not gonna find that here. If you're deathly afraid of hurricanes, you won't like Gulfgate. There's old homes with old trees in the yard. So add that plus high winds and close proximity to the water, well, it just doesn't add up well. One of the things that Gulfgate has going for it is it is pretty high up, so there's minimal flooding, but it is an older area and telephone poles and electrical lines are still underground. So Gulfgate is kind of one of the first areas to lose power and stay out of power for the longest during a storm. All right, now I can enjoy my pizza. West of the trail. This is one of the most beautiful areas of Sarasota. A few features of west of the trail would be the historic estates, waterfront lifestyle, proximity to downtown, and the Sarasota Memorial Hospital. There isn't a lot to be said about west of the trail that could be any better than just showing you, so take a look for yourself. If you're looking for waterfront property with a private boat docking, that's what you're gonna find west of the trail. A lot of the doctors who work at Sarasota Memorial Hospital also reside west of the trail because of its proximity. Homes here are older, but constantly being updated and renovated. There are mature trees everywhere you look, which also adds to that serene and peaceful feel. The types of people I suggest to check out west of the trail are those searching for waterfront lifestyles. somebody looking for a large home, and definitely somebody with a big budget. West of the Trail is the most expensive area on this list. Some of the downsides of west of the Trail is the issues with insurance. Because the houses here are so old and packed with so much history, insurance companies really only care about the age. Add to the fact that some of these homes are directly on Sarasota Bay, plus this area is very mature, meaning lots of overgrown trees, which is only another negative in the eyes of insurers. Also, US 41 or Tamiami Trail, hence the name West of the Trail, is one of the main roads taking people north and south throughout Sarasota, and it can get extremely backed up all the time. So after seeing all of these areas, let me know in the comments which one is your favorite, and watch this video next to see if you can handle living in Sarasota.